Yes, indeed. Give a round of applause to the band, everybody.
Thank you.
Good evening, NABJ.
One more time. Good evening, NABJ.
We are thrilled to be here tonight as your host for the opening ceremony.
Felicia, you're exactly right. We plan to kick this year's convention off in a big way. This year, the theme is driving journalism, technology, and trust. All three are important factors in our everyday lives.
Well, before we go any further, I think we need to tell them who we are.
Do we really?
I think so.
Okay, let's do it.
I'll start. I am Felicia Henderson, Assistant Managing Editor of Features at the Detroit News. I was a member of the Detroit chapter in '92 when the convention was here, and I am immediate past president of the Detroit chapter. And in case you all don't know, there is a very special NABJ Community Service Award named after my late husband, Angelo B. Henderson. So needless to say, I am honored to be your co-host tonight.
Well, the honor is all mine, Felicia. I'm sure the honor is with the entire audience. Isn't that right, everybody?
Thank you, Andrew.
Say hello, Felicia. And once again, good evening, everybody. Well, Felicia, we're both so happy to be here. My name is Andrew Humphrey, meteorologist and reporter at WDIV Local 4, right here in the great city of Detroit, Michigan. Like Felicia, I am also a past president of the Detroit chapter of NABJ, but I gotta tell you this, Felicia, in addition to being a past president, being an AMS certified meteorologist, that's one thing. Being an Emmy Award-winning meteorologist is another thing here in the great state of Michigan. But there is no better feeling, no greater feeling than having NABJ's national, international, stupendous convention right here in Motown.
That's right.
But I digress. Let's get back to why we're here tonight, everybody.
Well, it's because it's Motown, of course.
That's right, Felicia. But everybody knows that NABJ conventions are just like a family reunion. Isn't that right, everybody? Aren't we all family, everybody? It's the time to mix. It's the time to mingle. It's a great time to get acquainted with old friends and meet new friends.
Andrew, this is such an important time for journalism. Our readers, listeners, and viewers must be able to depend on local journalists now more than ever. Technology continues to expand our ability to reach larger audiences instantly.
Exactly right. I mean, and have you ever heard of this statement, Felicia, in the audience? I'm sure that you already have. Trust is earned. It is not given.
Yes, I have.
That's right, we all certainly have, and I hope our audience has too, and I'm sure they already have. Because all journalists have to work hard in order to earn the trust of the people that we serve.
This year at the convention, our programs are top-notch. The plenaries will cover some important topics like race, politics, and social justice, and entrepreneurship and branding. Have you heard that Tyler Perry is going to be here to do a master class on branding on Friday?
I think I've heard that last week, last month, across Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, in Los Angeles, New York, Atlanta, all over. That is going to be one jam-packed session. You know, in addition, Sean King is going to be here, and so will Roland Martin. And do not forget, everybody, journalists, emerging journalists, professional journalists, make sure you have those resumes ready.
All right, everyone. Are you ready to get started?
Are you ready to get started?
We have an awesome program tonight. Be sure to stick around for the reception hosted by Disney.
That's right. Thank you very much, Walt Disney Company. Also, the National Association of Black Journalists. A little bit of history here. As many of you know, and newcomers to the convention, shout out if it's your first time to the convention. Is it your first time? Anybody out there? Wonderful.
Wow.
First time to the city of Detroit. Anybody? Thank you again for being here. Well, a little bit of history on NABJ itself. The organization was formed on December 12, 1975, 42 years ago, there were 44 men and women who gathered in Washington, D.C., of course, America's nation's capital, and created the organization.
The first NABJ president, the late Chuck Stone, once said, "At the start, we were ridiculed, we were pressured, we were questioned by all sorts of people who never questioned anyone else's right to come together in their own interest. We survived because we upheld the highest standards of profession while maintaining our identity as Black people."
Now, does that sound familiar to everybody? Even personally, doesn't that sound familiar in our own personal work lives too? Well, guess what? NABJ is standing on the shoulders of those giants. And tonight we want to honor the men and women who started this fantastic organization. Now, as many of you know, some of them have passed on, but they're still with us in spirit. But right now, this moment, please stand with all of us and celebrate the living legends of NABJ. We salute them with their founder's walk.
Everybody right now, let's go. Celebrate good times. Come on, everybody. Everybody, let's go, let's go, let's go. Celebrate good times. Come on. There's a party going on right here. It's a celebration to last throughout the year. So bring your good times and your birthday too. Spectrum Band's gonna have a party with you. Celebration. Let's come and celebrate and have a good time. Celebration. We're gonna celebrate the founders. Come on, come on. It's time we come together. What a mule. What's your pleasure? Everybody right now, clap your hands. Clap your hands. Yeah. Celebrate good times. Come on. Come on.
Once again, our founders of NABJ, as they take their seats, one more big round of applause, everybody.
Putting together a convention like this takes a team of people. At the helm are the honorary co-chairs. This year's honorary co-chairs have deep ties to Detroit and a long history with NABJ.
That's right, and I know you've heard of all of them, and here are a couple at least here tonight. The undefeated Jamel Hill. And of course, Detroit Free Press columnist Rochelle Riley. Both of them, as they come up here on stage, have led the host committee in welcoming all of you here to the Motor City for this year's convention in the Comeback City. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please, one warm, thunderous round of applause and welcome to Jamel Hill and Rochelle Riley.
What up, though?
Good evening, everyone.
That was the Oakland County greeting right there. As a native Detroiter, I just want to welcome you all once again to Detroit, to this fabulous city. And to all you convention goers, thank you for being here. I know it's not easy in today's times to put together our coins and meet here, and the fact that we've remained so committed to this organization over the years is just an indication of how much we need each other and how much of a family NABJ is. I feel like I was destined to be a part of NABJ because I joined this organization the last time it was in Detroit. Yes, I am older than I look. So I joined it in 1992 as a high school student, and it was a life-changing decision for me. And hearing that NABJ, with it being founded also the year I was born, 9 days from my birthday, it feels like that I was destined to be a part of this group. So for everyone out there, please enjoy yourself, enjoy this city. Most importantly, this is a crown jewel. Detroit has been kicked a lot. And this is our opportunity to show you the growth, the potential that this city has, and the fact that here you will be able to experience some of the same things that you do in some of the larger cities as well. So thank you for being here. Enjoy yourself. Have a coney. You're going to have to pick either American or Lafayette because it's real out there. That's a Crips or Bloods kind of question. So, so have a coney. Enjoy the sights and sounds of our wonderful city.
I am so glad that you are here, not just because I love for us to have our professional family reunion, no matter where it is, but I need for everybody to see where I live and what my Detroit looks like. I live 1 mile from where you're gathered tonight, and this is the baddest city in America. So you're going to have a chance to see why those of us who live here stay here. This convention has been in the works since 1992. We cannot wait to blow you away with everything that's happening here. So fasten your seatbelts, make sure your cell phones are charged, hashtag NABJ18. I want to thank our host committee. You can find them in the NABJ program. They're led by Dan Gilbert and Marvin Beatty and a whole bunch of folks that you need to know. But I also want to thank our media ambassadors. That's something we did new this year, and these are all those folks who literally made sure that you knew what was going on inside Detroit and out. So I want to thank all of them. Tonight, you're going to get a passport to see our city. If you get 5 of the places stamped in it, you are going to be put into a drawing for a $1,000 prize. So get your passport, get out of the 7.2 square miles of downtown and see the rest of our city, because there's amazing stuff going on all over the city. And if you live in a city that does not have a black anchor, then you need to make sure you see a little television to see our top anchors. Huel Perkins at Fox 2, Carolyn Clifford at WXYZ-TV, the ABC affiliate, and Kimberly Gill over at NBC affiliate WDIV. We are so glad you're here. We're glad you chose to meet us in the D. We're going to knock your socks off. Thank you.
One more time, ladies and gentlemen, Jamel Hill and Rochelle Riley. And trust me, the Coney thing, it is real, but trust me, it's also a friendly rivalry, all right? And up next, she is the 21st NABJ president and the first to be reelected to a second term. Now, by day, Sarah Gluffer is a social media editor for NBC-owned and operated stations.
By night and on weekends, and every other second of the day, she leads our incredible organization. President Glover has a long list of accomplishments. Here's one to note. She led a record-breaking organizational turnaround, a $1.2 million surplus in 2016.
That bio, by day this, by night that, sounds like a superhero, right? Well, she actually is a superhero, everybody, to all of us, especially in our hearts. Tonight, we welcome now NABJ President Sarah Glover.
Thank you. This is all of us. Look at the beautiful people in the front here, the board, our founders, our members. We did this together. And good evening. Good evening, NABJ. Welcome to the D. Welcome to Motown. We are so happy to be here in the Motor City. As president of NABJ, I want you to know that this may be your most memorable experience and time in Detroit, because 3,000 Black journalists, media professionals, and students have showed up in the D, and we plan to show out all week. Over the next few days, okay. Everybody right? Okay, I'll do it bigger. Over the next few days, you'll make connections to give you the edge in landing that next job. You'll gather skills that make your writing, producing, and editing much stronger. You'll see some old friends and make some new friends, all among the NABJ family. But don't worry about trying to get rest. I am not sleeping for the next 5 days. You'll have time for that on your flight back home. Just so you know, pulling together this NABJ National Convention, it's a huge task with so many people, but it's because of the hard work of all these great people. Our Detroit NABJ chapter president, Vince McCraw, stand please. Our Region 2 director, Vicki Thomas, stand please. She's amazing. And of course, our NABJ members, our new executive director, Drew Barry, and the entire NABJ staff and board. I want to say thanks to all of you. And tonight in particular, I would like to recognize Mayor Mike Duggan, Wayne County Executive Warren Evans, Detroit Police Chief James Craig, and of course, tonight would not have been possible without the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative and Mr. Jim Shelton. Thank you for your support of NABJ. I'd also like to thank our honorary co-chairs, Rochelle Riley and Jamel Hill, the dynamic duo. They're among the native Detroiters here to welcome us to this comeback city. It's amazing being in the D. So as media professionals, we have to ask, is there any news happening today? Or better yet, any news happening right now? You all have mobile devices, right? We live in this and we work in this 24 hours news cycle. It's nothing like it used to be when I entered the business, and surely not when our founders did. And by the time that we leave this big media industry, we know it will be completely different than it is today, right? And that change is in part correlates with the mission and the strength of the National Association of Black Journalists, because we see the change and our organization is flexible enough to adapt to change so that our members have the tools they need to stay ahead. Just look at the lineup here this week for NABJ 18. From the workshops, the plenaries, the small group workshops as well. We've got you covered. We're going to cover technology, digital, race, politics, social justice, entrepreneurship, and branding. Are you tired yet? We're going to have fun too. Mabel Simmons' closest relative, Tyler Perry, will be joining us for a special branding workshop on Friday. The Intercept's Sean King is participating in the W.E.B. Du Bois plenary. We've got Retha Hill, Roland Martin, and Facebook's Simone Oliver, and they'll provide hands-on digital tips and innovation insights on the Newsmaker plenary tomorrow morning. And we have this thing called the Innovation Bubble, one of my favorites, where you can get hands-on digital tips and demonstrations all day long, Thursday and Friday. This conference is NABJ's biggest event of the year. You know that. Look, we're at standing room only, and it's only Wednesday afternoon. And we're also the largest journalism jobs fair in the world. We have to claim that, right? It's a big deal. NABJ is involved in other efforts that impact this industry far beyond these 5 days that we're spending together this week. And while this time this week is constructed to fellowship, learn, and celebrate, it's also good to remind ourselves that we must lift each other up, right? We must support each other, and we must also advocate. And I wanted to talk a little bit about some advocacy earlier this year that I see my friend here in the second row, Marlon Walker, and I worked on. NABJ contributed to the changes in the 2018 Associated Press style book. Among those changes, in the work that we did working with the AP editors, we provided context when it comes to using the word boy, right? when describing black males. You and I know the word boy can be perceived as demeaning due to the historical impact of slavery. It's horrible. This is a huge change in the book. Without proper context, the word boy can have detrimental and racial overtones in describing black males, a demographic that is routinely robbed of fair representation in the media. And so NABJ looks forward to the change in the tone of how black males are depicted in coverage across thousands of publications, because as you know that the AP Dateline goes out across the world. So this is just one example of the relevancy of the organization today. And NABJ will continue working to ensure that media presentations of people of color are accurate and complete. And moving back onto this conference, I want to acknowledge that this committee has pulled an awesome cast of characters together. We have to thank our convention chair, Eva Coleman, our program chair, Maria Reeve, and all the committee members. And I just want to name a few people that are on the way this week to join us. We have a dozen NABJ founders, or about a dozen. You met some of them this evening. We also have Spike Lee, James Brown of CBS, Mark Spears of The Undefeated, activist DeRay McKesson, Flint Mayor Karen Weaver, Donnie Simpson, Ben Chavis of the NNPA, singer Bobby Brown, and civil rights icon Jesse Jackson Sr. of the Rainbow Push Coalition. I could tell you so much more about what's in store this week, but you have the program in your registration materials, the paper version, and you've got the app that you can download. And I want you to join us for the Salute to Excellence on Saturday night. If you don't have your tickets yet, get them as soon as possible. We're going to sell out. We're going to present the Journalist of the Year Award to Jamel Hill, and we'll also induct 5 members of our esteemed NABJ family into the Hall of Fame on Friday at the Hall of Fame luncheon. We'll also hand out dozens of awards over the course of the week. And as you heard earlier, 1992 was the last time that the NABJ conference was here in Detroit. And this city is going through a renaissance. And NABJ is pleased to be here in this place, in this beautiful, vibrant, and historic city, as NABJ too is going through unprecedented change and success. So let's salute this comeback city, and let's celebrate the successful comeback of NABJ. Both are thriving and moving in the right direction. That's something that we can all celebrate, right? And before I leave you, because those who know me well know I'm long-winded, so this speech wouldn't be me if I wasn't still up here, right? But I do have a special announcement. Are you on the edge of your seat? Are you ready? I have a special announcement for you right there, and you right there, right? And in this section, I have one for you over there. And just so you know, because we're in the Motor City, you all get a car. You get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. Wouldn't that be great if we could all get a car? But I am not Oprah. I am not Oprah. I'm Sarah. I'm your 21st president, and this moment is our moment. So let's enjoy the rest of this evening in the NABJ 18 convention. And as legendary Motown singer Marvin Gaye sang so eloquently, let's get it on, right? Have a good night.
Sarah Glover, everybody, NABJ president. And car giver. Almost car giver. I mean, we're sitting in GM headquarters, so why not? Mary Barra, I'm sure you're listening.
Our next speaker is a longtime NABJ member and a former television executive.
That's right, Felicia. Please welcome now and congratulate newly appointed Executive Director for NABJ, Mr. Drew Barrett.
I'm already having fun. Seriously, I am. I got to tell you, it's just with great pleasure that I welcome everybody to Detroit. I'm just glad to be here myself. And by the time you leave, you will be glad that you came because of the workshops and the panels and the networking opportunities, because of some of the experiences that are uniquely Detroit. I also hope you remember to bring your passport because, you know, Canada's a few minutes away. I'm sure you know a few people who said they were not coming to Detroit for various reasons. We will miss them. But here's a bit of interesting information regarding this year's attendance that the president mentioned earlier, about 3,000. And keep in mind, we usually have quite a number of folks who register on site, you know, sometimes a couple of hundred or more. So we're far away from our final number. But here's some perspective. In the last 13 years, only 2 conventions had more attendees than the way we have this year. It beat the cities, the northeastern cities and Philly and all of those kind of cities. That's a pretty darn good track record. So we're obviously very happy about that. Philly and, not Philly, but New Orleans and Washington, D.C. were those other 2 cities. They had about 3,200. And we may eclipse that. We'll see. But anyway, I want to thank President Glover and an incredible office staff, board of directors, the local chapter. I know you guys have heard it, but you really don't know just how incredible this local chapter is and how hard they have worked to bring this convention to reality. I mean, I think I had calls from people at 5:30 in the morning and was glad to take them because I knew it was of substance, I knew it was critical, and they needed answers to help make this thing successful. So I just want to thank the local chapter again, I really do. So anyway, please don't forget to download the convention app so you won't show up at the wrong room, just in case, okay? We'll update that. And enjoy Detroit. Thank you.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, newly minted Executive Director of NABJ, Drew Barrett.
Is everyone having a great time?
Are you really having a great time? Well, guess what? When we started here tonight, we mentioned some of the many things that you can look forward to this week. But none of it will be possible without our supporters and our sponsors.
First, let's give a round of applause to Spectrum. The band is from the U.S. Virgin Islands, and they're providing our music tonight.
We also want to thank the Democracy Fund and the Foundation for their tremendous support of NABJ. Let's give them a round of applause. And again, don't go anywhere, folks, and we know you're not. NABJ convention veterans, and I'm sure first-timers have already heard this. Followed by this ceremony, there's always a spectacular reception. This year, once again, hosted by Walt Disney Company, and once again, it is right after the ceremony.
We want to extend a big thank you to the sponsor of tonight's opening ceremony, the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. Let's give all of our sponsors a big round of applause.
Now, this evening, our next speaker is from the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative's education efforts. His name is Jim Shelton. He's the former Deputy Secretary of the United States Department of Education.
He holds a bachelor's degree in computer science from Morehouse College and master's degrees in business administration and education from Stanford University.
That's cool, Felicia. He's a geek like me.
Yes,
Science and
he is.
technology.
Yes, he is.
Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to love hearing what he has to say. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome, Mr. Jim Shelton.
Geek I am. Good evening, everybody. I had the opportunity to meet President Glover when I was coming up, and she thanked me for the sponsorship. And I have to say that for me, I can honestly say that I am grateful to be able to be here. There probably is no time that is more important for us to be investing in a free press. And on top of that, no more time more important to be investing in a black free press. So I am only an investor in what is much needed. So I want to do a couple of quick things. One, I want to thank you again for all that you do. I want to thank especially those folks who cover education. I work for the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. It was founded by Priscilla Chan, who's a pediatrician and was a teacher before that. And she happens to be married to a guy named Mark Zuckerberg, who's the CEO of Facebook. Their desire in creating Chan Zuckerberg is to create a future for everyone. I want us to think about what that means in this time, and what it means to deliver people who have the ability to choose and participate and create in the future, and what it means for our children to be able to do that. So on top of thanking you for all the work that you do, I want to thank especially the folks like Marlon Walker and Erica Green who cover education. You all tell the stories about how we are going to develop our children to be able to participate and create the future that we need. What is happening in our education system and to our education system is a story that needs to be told. And I appreciate everything that you do. Let me tell you just a little bit more about Chan Zuckerberg, because my hope is that this is the beginning of a relationship, and then I'll get out of your way. I told you CZI was created to create a future for everyone. It's built around 3 specific things. The first is a science initiative. The science initiative is focused on curing, preventing, or managing all disease by the end of this century. Think about that. It's a long-term vision. We are focused on the long term. That means sometimes we'll make short-term trade-offs, but we believe that we're able to build a future that we can actually cure all disease. The second is focused on justice and opportunity. The reality is we tell these stories in our communities every day, whether it's specifically about reforming the criminal justice system, or housing and community development, and how we participate in the growth of our communities, or economic mobility more broadly. And third is the work that I do around education, which is focused on how we actually tap in and deliver the potential of every single child, making sure that they actually have the kind of lives that let them not only have great jobs and great families, but like I said, help them participate in creating the future that we all deserve. So with that, I'll end. I just want to thank you and tell you to have a fantastic time. I am very happy to be in the D. I'm from the other DC. But I'm glad to be here tonight. Have a good one.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, from the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, Jim Shelton.
Our next guest was elected the 75th mayor of Detroit in 2013. Last year, he was reelected to a second term, and last month, the Detroit News named him a Michiganian of the Year. He's leading a city now considered to be at a crossroads.
That's right, Felicia. Born right here in Detroit, Michigan, Mayor Mike Duggan has spent his entire career working in the city to solve some of the most complex issues facing Detroiters every single day, every single month, every single year, including crime, blight, and access to jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, let's now welcome him tonight from the city of Detroit, Mayor Mike Duggan.
All right. Well, welcome to Detroit, NABJ. Good to have you back after 26 years. And for those who were there last night, it was a great party over at Little Caesars Arena, and we were pleased the program was hosted by that daughter of Detroit, Shawn Robinson. And to have Detroiters like Rochelle Riley and Jamel Hill co-chairing, and I want to say thank you to the Detroit chapter of NABJ. The whole group was strong, but in particular, the one who was calling our office every single day to make sure every detail was nailed down, that force of nature, Vicki Thomas. Thank you for all you've done. There is a great deal of history of black journalism to be proud of here. About 4 blocks from here, I hope you get a chance to go over to the station WGPR, the first African-American-owned television station in the United States. was founded by Mr. William Banks. I had the privilege not long ago to have the historical marker placed on the front of the building so no one will forget. And inside is the William Banks Museum, which recognizes so many of the NABJ careers that were launched in that station. We're so proud of so many things. Former Pulitzer Prize winner, Angelo Henderson, who was a beloved radio talk show host in this town. A more recent Pulitzer Prize winner, Stephen Henderson, for the Free Press. The history here with Bob Magruder, the first black executive editor at the Free Press, and a man who was a giant in my life through my whole career, 40 years at the Michigan Chronicle, finishing as the publisher, Mr. Sam Logan. There is great tradition. But for all the contributions of NABJ members, there's one I want to personally thank you for. A former Fox 2 TV journalist has now come over and is the chief of staff for the city of Detroit, Alexis Wiley. So you probably didn't know I was hiring at the NABJ job fair, but Alexis is doing a great job. And so if you haven't been here in a while, I hope you get out and see the areas where we've made great progress and the areas where there's great progress still to be made. Both of those stories are important. Both of those stories need to be told, and I know the people in this room will tell them well. But today, I just wanted to say, Detroit is so glad to have you. Please enjoy your stay here in the city. Thank you.
And Mayor Duggan, thank you very much, and thank you for highlighting and honoring the history of black ownership and leadership in media right here in the Motor City in the city of Detroit. Speaking of leadership, our next speaker was first elected to the Detroit City Council in 2005, and she is currently president of the Detroit City Council ever since 2014.
She was the first woman to join the race for Congress to represent the people of Michigan's 13th Congressional District. Please welcome Detroit City Council President Brenda Jones.
Good evening, everyone. First, I would like to say to President Glover, members of the National and Regional Boards, the Convention Committee, the local chapter president, Vince McGraw, members of the NABJ, dignitary, friends, and guests. Again, I am your Detroit City Council President Brenda Jones, and on behalf of my 8 colleagues on council and the residents of the city of Detroit, I'm so excited to welcome you back to a city with one of the most interesting comeback stories ever told. Many changes have happened in our city since you were last here in 1992. And our city, as you see, is on the upspring with new development projects, a vibrant sports district with all 4 major teams in one area, a bustling downtown and a midtown area, and more emphasis now being placed on our neighborhoods. Now, this doesn't come without challenges, you all, and as new Detroiters struggle to fit in with long establishment residents, we are wrestling with gentrification and inclusion to ensure Detroit's comeback doesn't forget those who have suffered through the lean days. We're proud of the 3,000 plus members of the NABJ, some who are like my good friend, Region 2 Director Vicki Thomas, Honorary Conference Co-Chairs Jamel Hill and Rochelle Riley, past President Andrew Humphrey, upcoming star reporter Catrice Stafford, and others who work every day to tell the honest stories of our rebirth. So as I close, I want to thank you for choosing Detroit for the 2018 NABJ Conference. And I want to congratulate all the honorees and awardees, especially our own Jamel Hill, who was chosen NABJ Journalist of the Year. I also want to encourage you to meet and talk to our Detroiters. You'll find us to be interesting, engaging, and welcoming to you and your convention. Don't forget, as you are roaming through our cities, leave a few of your dollars at our convention and at our casinos. Thank you again for giving me the opportunity to officially welcome you. I would also like to present to you, on behalf of the Detroit City Council, a testimonial resolution, which is the highest that we give out. And this resolution is going to ensure that this convention goes down in the history of the city of Detroit. And it just starts off reading, whereas for the first time in 26 years, the city of Detroit is proud to host the members of the National Association of Black Journalists for the 2018 Annual Convention and Career Festival. This year's theme is NABJ 18, Driving Journalists, Technology, and Trust. Detroit chapters, NABJ organizers have worked hard to make sure that Detroit stay front and center throughout the 5-day convention. And it goes on, and I would like to present it to you, and it says, now therefore be it resolved that the National Association of Black Journalists be awarded this testimonial resolution from the Detroit City Council in the Office of Council President Brenda Jones in recognition of the 2018 Annual Convention and Career Fair. We thank you for choosing the city of Detroit, and it's signed by all council members. And also, I would like to leave you with that green statue that you see in front of the Coleman A. Young Municipal Center, Spirit of Detroit pins. I always say, the spirit of Detroit is what you carry around in your heart. All of you are carrying that spirit around as you are here in the great city of Detroit, Michigan. Thank you again for being here. We appreciate you being in our city. So and your Spirit of Detroit pin, Vicki, I know you have one. So you want to know, Vicki, because it's you, I'm taking mine off. And I'm going to give you my pen. Don't forget, leave that money in our casinos.
Wow, what a tremendous honor. Council President Brenda Jones, thank you very much, and thank you for highlighting all the wonderful sites and people of the city of Detroit. Another good reason to explore.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I tell you what, our next speaker was elected as Wayne County's 4th executive in 2014. He had a strong mandate from the voters to restore ethical leadership to Michigan's largest county as it faced a financial crisis.
When many thought the county was headed toward bankruptcy, our guest restored fiscal stability to Wayne County and eliminated a deficit. Welcome greetings from Wayne County Executive Warren Evans.
welcomes we can make to Detroit. So I'm going to make mine kind of brief. I'm the Wayne County executive that has responsibility for the city of Detroit and 42 other communities that surround it. I know that NABJ is critical in your industry to helping protect black journalists, helping to move forward the agenda of black journalists. And I want to just tell you that you do the same thing for black elected officials. Without your membership, without the sensitivity, without the probing, without the similarity of background and understanding, elected officials of color would have a much rougher time than they do right now. And I'm not suggesting that you give anybody any air when they're wrong. What I'm suggesting is that you have a unique ability to look at things and see them in a way that is much more fundamentally fair for those of us of color who care to lead and to work hard to do it. So I'm glad you're here in Detroit. I'm not going to do the Detroit pep thing anymore, not because I don't feel it, but because you've already heard it 3 times. But I really want to tell you that I understand greatly what you do. I'm tremendously proud of what you do, and probably wouldn't be here today if it hadn't been for the black press. When I was a kid in Detroit during the civil rights struggle, my family printed a newspaper in the basement, similar to the Chronicle, called the Illustrated News. It was an advocacy paper. We came from an advocacy family, and it allowed me to start hearing and thinking and seeing the things that were critically relevant, even as a kid, to our community. It was a great opportunity. I didn't know it as a kid, but you know, when I'd come home from school and come in the side door, and Coleman A. Young, who was the first mayor of the city of Detroit, was downstairs arguing by the offset printing press about issues of politics, or Martin Luther King when he was in town, or H. Rap Brown, or Malcolm X, were all people that came in the house, talked regularly about issues, and helped me to grow as a person and understand not only the complexity, but the issues that people of color face in this country. So I love what you do. Keep doing it well. Know that it's appreciated by this elected official anyway, and have a great convention.
County Executive Warren Aarons, thank you very much, especially for sharing your family history and connection to journalism and connection to black journalism. Appreciate that very much, sir.
All right, it is time to give out some awards.
That's right, but first a little bit of housekeeping before we begin. Now, we would love to have time for all the honorees and all of our winners to give an acceptance speech, but we'd be here all night if that actually happened. So we'll ask that our honorees come up, receive their awards, take a photo, and then return to their seats. As our last speaker mentioned, it's keeping it brief, but also keeping it memorable. Is that okay, everybody? Is that cool, everyone? Awesome.
The very first award of this year's convention goes to a college student who has excelled within the field of journalism. This year's winner is an aspiring television news anchor who graduated in May from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill with a bachelor's degree in media and journalism and a concentration in broadcast journalism.
That's right. He's also received fellowships at Bloomberg and NBC, and has participated in NABJ's Student Multimedia Project. So those of you in the Multimedia Project right now, look at what can happen in a short time later. Tonight's honoree has also received numerous honors and awards, including winning an MVP Ace Reporter Award at UNC, and is the recipient of the Chuck Stone Diversity Award, named after one of NABJ's founders and the organization's first president.
The 20-year-old is a native of Laurinburg, North Carolina. He knew early on that he wanted to be a journalist. He served as the editor of his family's newsletter at the tender age of 6.
Just 6?
Just 6.
Can you remember what you were doing at 6, everybody? I know I barely can. I certainly wasn't doing that. But I'm not going to say that at all. I'm going to spare that for time also. the 2018 NABJ Student Journalist of the Year is, big round of applause for Donnie Holloway. Get used to those flash bulbs, Mr. Holloway. Congratulations.
Our next award goes to the NABJ Student Chapter of the Year. This honor is given for the chapter's accomplishments over the last 12 months.
That's right. And this year, everybody, there are 2 finalists. This year, the finalists are the University of Missouri and North Carolina A&T State University.
Congratulations to all of the finalists. Drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. And the winner is North Carolina A&T State University.
Wonderful is that, Felicia?
That is awesome.
Doesn't that fill you with a sense of pride?
Yes, it does.
You know, our former speaker, Jim Shelton, who was formerly at the United States Department of Education, he expressed what many would perceive challenges of the U.S. education system, whether it's in the present or in the future. Well, Donnie Holloway, an individual student, the student winners here, actually both finalists, and the students who are participating throughout the entire convention are examples of busting through those challenges and being successes. Yes. Isn't that right, everybody?
Yes, definitely.
Now, our next speaker has been a part of a group eagerly awaiting your arrival here in Detroit. They have worked long and hard along with our convention team to make this entire event happen.
And it's not an easy thing to do. Welcome Detroit Chapter, NABJ President Vincent McCraw, and NABJ Region 2 Director Vicki Thomas.
Vince, they're here.
Vicki. Welcome to Detroit, NABJ.
You know, we asked you to meet us in the D, and you came out in full force for NABJ 18. Welcome to our city.
And Vicki, as you know, it's been 26 years since y'all done been here in Detroit. But right here in this very hotel, 26 years ago.
That's a long, long dry spell, Vince. So if we seem overly anxious and excited, we are.
Yeah. A lot has changed in Detroit since '92, and we've been planning for years to make sure that you have an awesome time here and that you have a chance to experience our city.
That's right. We have tours offered by Quicken Loans, and you can catch that tour at 2 o'clock, Founder, tomorrow.
And there's a free Detroit party at Burt's Warehouse in historic Eastern Market later tonight.
We want you there. You can also check out the beautiful Shane Park along the riverfront for the Kim concert. That's what I'm really excited about, and it's being presented by Nissan. How many people coming? All right, let's do it.
That's Friday night. And we have a tennis tournament on Belle Isle, which is our very own island here in the park in Detroit. And Saturday, we have a day of entrepreneurial service at Wayne County Community College District's downtown campus.
And guess what? The NABJ 5K is back. Register, sign up, it's not too late, and we want to thank Fiat Chrysler for helping us to bring that back. You can run, walk, and bike your way through the streets of Detroit and along the city's riverfront.
And don't forget to pick up your passport on the way out the door so you can have a chance to win that $1,000.
That's right, that exciting passport contest is kicking off tonight. So you have to just visit 5 of the 10 locations that we've selected, and your passport will be stamped at that location. And as Rochelle Riley mentioned earlier, you'll be entered into a drawing for $1,000. You can have your whole convention covered, the cost of it. So get your passport before you leave.
And you have to drop it off at our Detroit NABJ swag table no later than noon on Saturday. Our table is outside the Ambassador Ballroom.
And we will pull the name of the lucky winner at our Salute to Excellence Awards on Saturday night.
And last but certainly not least, we want to thank all of our sponsors and our amazing team. I just want to ask all of our Detroit chapter board members and members to wave your hand.
Wave your hand, Detroit chapter members. Represent. So, thank you all for your hard work on the Detroit team. And everyone enjoy the convention and enjoy Detroit.
Now, Felicia, I know we're known as Motown. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing. I'm not going to try and do anything more in unison with you either. I know we're known as Motown, but we know that that's just an example of them talking in unison like that. What stellar journalists they are compared to being musicians or compared to being entertainers. But they're absolutely fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 of our fabulous leaders in journalism right here in Detroit, Southeast Michigan, the astounding Vicki Thomas and Vincent McCraw.
Now, our next award is the NABJ Chapter of the Year, and it's presented to a professional affiliate chapter for its accomplishments.
That's right. First, we highlighted the students, individual, and also student chapter of the year, and we know that their parents, mentors, and educators are proud. Well, we have some very proud and award-winning professionals that are out there as well. The finalists for NABJ Chapter of the Year. There are 2 finalists. The first finalist is NABJ Chicago Chapter. And the second finalist, Dallas-Fort Worth Association of Black Journalists.
Ladies and gentlemen, drum roll please. And the winner is NABJ Chicago Chapter!
Chicago chapter, congratulations.
Is everybody ready to party?
Yes.
I mean, is everyone ready to party?
Yes.
This ceremony was just the start of our festivities tonight. It has been our pleasure to be with you this evening.
It certainly has. Thank you very much. Once again, from the Detroit News, Felicia Henderson.
Thank you. And from WDIV Local 4, Andrew Humphrey.
Felicia, thank you very much. It has been an honor to be with you, and to everyone in the audience, an honor to be with you once again this evening. Look forward to seeing you during the rest of the convention. The sponsor of our opening night reception, the Walt Disney Company, will kick off their comments with a greeting from one of the stars of an exciting upcoming Disney release. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear from now, you know her, you love her, Misty Copeland.
Hi, I'm Misty Copeland, and welcome to the 2018 National Association of Black Journalists Annual Convention, or better known as NABJ. I have fond memories of speaking at NABJ a few years ago. So I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you this time in person to enjoy this magical evening sponsored by the Walt Disney Company. However, I'm honored to be a part of their extended family and share the exciting news that I will be appearing in the upcoming holiday film, The Nutcracker and the Four Realms, opening nationwide on November 2nd. The Disney brand has an exciting footprint at NABJ. We are extremely proud you are able to kick off the evening to celebrate past accomplishments, renew friendships, and share some of the amazing things the company is doing. Be on the lookout for more information on the Nutcracker and the Four Realms, and I'll see you and your families this fall.
Hello, NABJ. I'm Sybil Crum, Director of Marketing Strategy for the Walt Disney World Resort. We are so honored that Misty Copeland is a member of our Disney family, whether it's as the first African-American female principal dancer for the American Ballet Theater Company, a best-selling author, or movie star. She really embodies the Disney philosophy: if you can dream it, you can do it. And as we have for many years at NABJ, it is our pleasure to host tonight's welcome reception, which is a collaboration by Disney Parks, Experiences, Consumer Products, the Walt Disney Studios, and Disney's Dreamers Academy. You'll definitely want to be a part of all the magic we have in store for you. Any Black Panther fans in the house? I mean, other than me? I mean, really, who isn't? If you're not, just leave. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. My boss would not want me to tell you that. But we have an opportunity to take you can take a selfie with a superhero tonight. We have costumes from the movies here, so stay tuned. I'm telling you, it's going to be fantastic. Also, we have a sports legend in the house, a sports hero in his own right, Lomas Brown, who is a legendary Detroit Lions offensive tackle and 7-time Pro Bowler, is here with us tonight. And more importantly, Miss Mickey Taylor, editor-in-chief, Essence luminary, amazing woman, Mickey Taylor, is here with us tonight. TV personality, author, beauty expert, Mickey Taylor is here with us tonight. I tell you, Mickey has been on the journey with us with Dreamers Academy for many years, a program that inspires young people. And just with her life-changing story, it's a mentoring program that's in collaboration with Steve Harvey and Essence Magazine. Here's a look at Dreamers Academy and the type of experience these incredible kids get to take part in.
All of life, destiny stands waiting, asking you this one simple question: who will you be? At Disney Dreamers Academy, my life was changed because my mind was changed when I saw people who said that if we could do it, you can too. So I decided I will be great, I will be fearless, I will be a dreamer. I choose to be 100.
Inspiring or what? And to all the journalists here in the convention, please spread the news that the application period for the 2019 Disney Dreamers Academy is open right now. Tonight, you can actually meet some of those dreamers. In fact, we have a hometown hero in his own right here with us tonight, Kyle Macbeth. He's from the Detroit suburb of Southfield. In fact, he was voted by the 2018 class as Dreamer of the Year. Kyle, raise your hand. We also encourage you, we have so much on tap for you tonight, we encourage you to stop by our Disney ABC television group and ESPN booth at the career fair. There you can learn about many exciting careers in journalism, public relations, and communications fields across our vast organization. Now, I'm a little biased, but I can tell you Disney has an amazing, diverse array of exciting and fulfilling career opportunities. You can't find them anywhere else. Please stop by and talk to us. Here's a look at some of the magic that is the Walt Disney Company.
Brightest of the brightest.
Not come here without our own Disney characters. Come get a photo with Minnie Mouse or the incredible Frozone or Sarge from Toy Story. In fact, we've watched guests at Walt Disney World having the time of their lives in the giant world of the new Toy Story land. So get ready to play big at tonight's reception with food, fun, and of course, dancing.
Attention recruits! Are you ready to be dancing in the street?
Sarge, hold up. What's going on? I was just wrapping up.
Yes, we have our orders. Here is our mission. Signed, sealed, delivered.
Wait a minute, Mr. Postman. I mean, Sarge, ABC, simple as do, re, mi, what does it say?
Andy has left the backyard. I repeat, Andy has left the backyard. Operation Play Big is a go. So I ask you again, recruits, are you ready to be dancing in the streets?
Hold up. Maybe not in the street. Next door, the Cabot Ballroom. And we've got all night long.
All night? All night?
All night.
I mean, we're clear to Andy's bedtime.
NABJ, you've heard it through the grapevine. We're ready to head into the reception, dance party, including a DJ salute to the music of Motown. I'll be there. Come join us.
All right. Let's move. Get those dancing shoes on. Let's go, 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 go.
He's got it. Whatever the biz, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop.